or you missed something, hopefully I'll be able to send out a Zoom link. Doesn't always work, but we're keeping our fingers crossed. Okay, I would now like to call the November LDTC meeting to order and welcome everybody to the meeting. Starting with some basic announcements, November 22nd, which is this Saturday, we're having a drive-by drop-off to collect donations to send to Jamaica. A good friend of Andrea's is doing the collection. So whatever you can stop by and drop off will be out front of the Adult Center from 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. So feel free to drop things off. They need things like batteries, diapers,
summer clothes.
If you have any summer clothes that you're not wearing anymore and you can pack up that are in fairly decent shape, pack those up, bring those along as well. November 28th to December 1st, there's a boycott of Amazon, Target, and Home Depot. We ain't buying it. Your wallet, your power. So everybody is encouraged not to shop at these stores and on these websites during that time period, and instead donate to some of the organizations that we have up here, or go to your local small businesses and support them. Thursday, November 20th, is a candlelight vigil on Transgender Day of Remembrance. That's at 5 o'clock at First Church on Longmeadow Street. And the ceremony is to remember trans victims of violence during the past year. So really good event if you have the time and you can get there. Monday and Tuesday, November 24th and 25th, is a march for the food bank. And this is a Rise Up Western Mass sponsored event. And for every dollar raised, they can provide 2 nutritious meals to families in the community experiencing food insecurity. You can sign up, actually Jackie's here, but if you want to sign up, there are links that we can provide you, or if you get the Rise Up Western Mass newsletter, there are links in there. Sunday, November 30th from 3 to 4 o'clock will be one of the Indivisible Rise Up Western Mass coordinated overpass standouts. And that's going to go from 3 to 4:30. And this is where hopefully we cover the entire Route 91, all of the overpasses. So that will be at Bark Hall Road overpass. And also get out your calendars. Just a reminder that Sunday, May 3rd, 2026 is our Democrat of the Year breakfast. And so get that in your calendars so that you're aware. It's in the morning, starting at about 9 o'clock. Excuse me. On Wednesdays from 3 to 4:30, there are still standouts in Longmeadow on Bark Hall Road. Although it was mentioned that there may not be events the 2 Wednesdays before Thanksgiving. So if you're planning to go, just be aware of that. Also on Thursday mornings from 7 to 8:30, Indivisible is still holding their weekly standouts at Bark Hall Road. Dress warm, wear hats and gloves, but they'd love to see us there. And on Saturdays from 10 to 11, Defending Democracy is holding their standouts at the Walgreens in East Longmeadow by the Rotary. Also, if anybody is interested in joining LARC, which is the Longmeadow Anti-Racism Coalition, their meetings are held on the second Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. at Sinai Temple. And you can see Saul there in the back, who can tell you all about it. And we'd love to see you there as well. Okay, and now for some items of regular business. Okay, skip treasurer's report, not here. Okay, September. Like I said, we just do what we can. September and October meeting minutes were sent out via email. Can I have, hopefully everybody saw them. If you didn't, let me know. Also, you might want to watch, if you're not seeing like meeting notices and things on a fairly regular basis, check your spam folder, because I found that even notices got sent to my spam folder. So just make sure you're checking multiple places if you're not seeing things from us. Anyway, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the September and October meetings?
Make a motion.
And can I have a second? Kathy, all in favor? Anybody opposed?
Sorry.
Okay, so carried. All right, and now we go to Saul, who has nominations for associate members. And just, you can try, but I don't know if it's gonna help.
Eligible. Thank you very much. I don't think I need it, but now I really right. Anyway, Maury Cat. He's been on town committees and anxious to be a member and nominate him as well. And back from Canada, where are you? Ken Crawford. He spends several months in Canada. So I placed the three of them in nomination, and somebody seconded, and you better vote for them.
Can I have a second? Deb? All in favor? Anybody opposed? So carried. Welcome to all our new members. So glad to have you here. Okay. I'm not gonna do this. Okay. Okay, let's just turn the microphone off. So. Oh. No, turn it off. Turn it off. I think you may have. Okay. So this is the part where we cross our fingers and hope that it works. So anyway, we had heard from many of you that you were inundated with emails from various groups and candidates, all of whom are seeking your support and mostly your dollars. The question is always, who should you give to? What do you know about them and their goals, their policies? So tonight, our intent was to make this easier for you, make decisions on how you spend both your time and your money. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover several organizations that provide research and information that help organize activist events and groups that identify and support candidates running for office or groups helping to get out the vote. We are going to go through each group individually, and we encourage you to ask questions. But again, because this is time sensitive and we have to be out of here at 8 o'clock, we may wind up having to cut off some of the conversations. One of the groups will be joining us on Zoom, although it doesn't look like they've quite joined us yet, but that's okay. We'll give them a few minutes and move things around if we need to. So what I would like to do is I would like to start with Jackie Neiman. Come on up. Why don't you come up here so I don't have to, you can hold the phone. Jackie is with Rise Up Western Mass. For those of you who may not be, no, because it'll get feedback.
I'm loud, so.
Well, you were standing at the back of the room. I think we project a little bit more so. Anyway, I don't know if how many people are familiar with Indivisible, which is a national organization. And under that umbrella, there are various subgroups for different areas and regions of the country. And Jackie is with Rise Up Western Mass, which is the Western Mass organization. So I don't know if we can we get to the Indivisible or the RUMI website?
RiseUpWesternMass.org.
Yeah, we,
Oh, you have it. Okay.
well, that was Indivisible, but
Oh, Indivisible is
the
fine.
next page down, there we are. Okay, so our intent is to try and, sorry, let me just, couple of thoughts I had as I was standing here. Our intent is on the tables. You have a 2-page sheet. that has all of these organizations on it with their website and their QR code. So the intent tonight was to get everybody comfortable with accessing the websites on your phone. So you can use the QR codes, you can use the websites, whatever. And hopefully we'll be able to actually show you the websites up on the Zoom call, again, just so you can see them and get familiar with them. And these are all organizations that are either doing research, or if they're collecting money, it's going to candidates and people that you're actually supporting. Sorry, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jackie. I'm with Rise Up Western Mass Indivisible. And yes, there are 2,700 indivisible groups nationwide. There is at least one in every congressional district. And we were, I think, the first one in Massachusetts CD1, though we are not the only one now. So we say we're Springfield area because our congressional district is, as you know, gerrymandered and large. So if you don't think you know us, you do know us. If you've driven under the highway and you've seen people Thursday mornings with those banners, that is us. If you came to the No Kings event with 2,000 or 3,000 people in downtown Springfield, we were one of 3 groups that organized that. So if you heard about or came to our community activist fair in downtown Springfield, we organized that. So you might have seen our videos online as well. So we are everywhere, even if you don't know who we are. But I would like to just tell you a little bit about what we do. And if you're interested in learning more or getting involved, the best way to do that. So we actually have been here for a long time. We started in Trump 1.0 in 2017. Very locally, we have now grown, and you can find us several places. So online, you can find us at riseupwesternmass.org. You can find us on Facebook, where we have about 2,500 people who follow us. Blue Sky, which I highly recommend if you're not on it, about 8,000 or 8,500 people who follow us. And the most salient way to get connected with us and find out about all of the events, all of the action items, news things important is by clicking, see where it says sign up for our weekly newsletter, which it used to just say join us. So somebody changed that, but I don't do the new website. So if you click that, can you click that for me? This form, you fill out this form and you will be on our weekly newsletter distribution list. If you like the newsletter, I will let you know I'm the one who writes it. If you don't like it, I do not write it. Okay? It comes out Monday evenings at 8 p.m. most times, and we do not share your email address. We do not spam you. We do not sell our lists. If you sign up, you will get our newsletter and occasionally special announcements if there's something really important. But in our newsletter, there are events, action items, places to show up, things to do, things to support. So it is really and these are all local or virtual that are accessible from here. So as an organization, we have a steering committee now. We just had somebody joining tonight, 7 or 8 people on our steering committee. We meet once a month in various locations, usually in a public library in Springfield or surrounding town. And then we do events. The standouts, we do the weekly standouts. We host larger events like the big rallies and things like that, small pop-up events like vigils and solidarity standouts, things like that. We also are connected and working very hard to get connected to other groups, building a coalition out here in Western Mass. Because as we know, Western Mass is very vibrant, but somehow the other side of the state thinks Worcester is Western Mass. So we are trying to make sure that out here there are events. People see that this part of the state is very active, both politically, socially, civilly, etc. So we are part of a coalition of other groups in Western Mass. That group meets once a month virtually, where we just share information and events. So we're trying to create this network of people, right? So it's great if you want to join our group. Honestly, you just get our newsletter. We don't have an official membership status. Show up to a meeting and then you get invited to like a different little email thing where you get more personalized information. We don't care where you show up. We just want people to show up. I don't care what you do that is engaged as long as people are engaged. That is the most important thing. It's not like pie. The more people that we get doing something, making a call, writing a letter, coming to a meeting, sharing something on social media, calling your congressperson, coming to an event, holding a sign, whatever it is, sending a postcard, whatever it is, that's what we need more of that. And honestly, we're happy to partner with anybody working for that same goal, no matter which group they are affiliated with. They'll go indivisible. We are also part of Indivisible Mass Coalition. We are a very lucky state that Massachusetts has an extremely coordinated state level group, which allows us to be very connected with our national group and very organized for rapid responses and things like that statewide. We are very fortunate here in Massachusetts to have that. I think that's it.
All right, any questions?
But I'll answer any questions.
No questions? All right, then we'll let Jackie get off to her other meeting that she's got to go to. Because nothing like being double booked for every evening. So I jumped ahead of the gun and I forgot Saul was going to lead a discussion of the last election on November 4th and just kind of give everybody a sense of what happened at the election, let you guys ask questions, give your own feedback, what you thought about it. So I'm going to.
It's pretty. So.
All right. Got one. Okie doke, let me try it again. Manu.
Yes, please. You have muted us. So I wanted to ask a question, but I couldn't. And the microphone was so low, I couldn't hear much anyway.
Okay, we're
But I'm okay now. That's okay. I mute myself. Thank you.
okay. Now I'm muted. Okay. Okay, so I it's up to you. It's up to you what you want to do.
I would like to have a microphone to.
Well, in case we have.
I'll run around as,
Okay.
yeah, what would you like me to do?
You just hang until I get through with my short presentation. And I'm supposed to fire this group up. That's why I'm supposed to be first. But. Oh, I do need. Does it affect that? Oh.
You can run around with that one. Yeah.
So, I'm going to say that, okay, the phone. Bring speak, Steve. You go by Washington School, in Springfield, Washington School. She had a chair of a committee in Zion Temple for the 60th anniversary, and we're responsible for putting that program up in the But November 4th, my gosh, that's a day to celebrate. This group ought to be cheering, because it was a Democratic speech. So the four particular programs that were well known. Two women elected to governors, the state of New Jersey and Virginia. They're supposed to already, well, they're both military people. And, uh, they're center left. But I don't know if they're very close to the center. I think they're more now. We could probably come up with liberal candidates, liberal government. And we will have a great victory in California. And I was gonna say something about that before I asked all of you folks to give your opinion of what you thought the election was either very good or even very bad. So, and then there was the election of a Democrat. They had to be social, Democrat. But that's okay, because this is a socialist Democrat. Think about it. When we put in Social Security as a prime example, well, lots of stuff being voted on and passed, and sometimes executive directions. So, it's government. It's government. Telling you how you want to live, and hopefully they tell us what to live. So, we have a wide tent. And I have a couple of groups that I facilitate discussion with, and we talked about the election. Oh, by the way, it wasn't just those 4 victims. It was that there were down ballot elections for them. The candidates from New Jersey and Virginia, they were both expected to win in advance of the election. In Virginia, she was supposed to win pretty big, but she won bigger than that. She and the governor.
Oh, no. Hmm.
Okay, I think I managed to unmute myself. So we'll keep going. Um, I did notice that we were joined by Lee Harrison and Sherwood Guernsey, and they are from the Rural Freedom Network, which this is kind of a new group that we just sort of discovered. And they actually live right within our domain. They're our national impact in the work that they're doing. And Lee and or Sherwood are going to be sharing background on their organization and their plans for the future and share with us what they're doing and how they operate. So welcome, Lee and Sherwood. And I'll let you guys fight over who talks first.
Sure, go ahead.
You sure, man? Doesn't matter to me.
I am.
Okay. Well, good evening. I am actually very glad to do this with our neighbors, and I mean that. Over the years, I've had contact from now and again with Long Meadow Group, and we are very pleased that Michelle moved up here. But I'm sure you're very sad about it. I must say that she's excellent. So, anyway, we're glad to have her as a part of our working groups. I did want to talk about the Rural Freedom Network, and then Lee can join in at any time because he's been my colleague all along. We started the Rural Freedom Network back in 2017, right after Trump's first election. We recognized something very important at the time, and it's still true, that because of Trump's rise and his seemingly lock on especially rural America, I began to realize that it was important to work outside of Massachusetts, not just in Massachusetts. It's not to say that we don't work in Massachusetts. Lee does a lot of that in what is the red area of Massachusetts, but our main focus is indeed outside, because we realized that maybe that's where the bigger fights to protect our government, and I think it's more true now than ever. So we began outreach to rural New York and rural Pennsylvania in particular, both of those areas. And since then, we have done a lot of outreach to other areas across the country: California, Iowa, Washington, Michigan, Georgia, depending on the elections and what we wanted to get involved in. So what is RFN? We are a political action committee, specifically to raise money and to do messaging. That's our niche. We don't do knock on door organizations. We don't do protests, although we've organized a lot of them, but nevertheless, our real focus is on messaging. Why? Because we think and we realize that as a whole, messaging is actually not easy. And it has to be, especially in this age, it has to be concise, it has to be succinct, and it has to be right on the messages that are critical for the times. And so we decided that a lot of the messaging was not that. Let me give you an example. We do a lot of billboards. That is, we design the billboards, and then we, in some cases, raise enough money to put them up ourselves. Otherwise, we will partner with groups, but work with them. So that's in a billboard, for example. You think about the billboards you've seen. The only ones that are really effective have about 7 or 8 words. That's it. It's got to be that succinct to make a difference. How many times have you driven past a billboard and it was just cluttered with words? It still happens all the time. And so we get the chance to talk to our colleagues throughout rural America where we are working and advise them and work with them. And we go forward and improve what is happening out there. And so we do that, but all kinds of media. So the bread and butter, frankly, of our work is actually with postcards for a lot of reasons. We have found that postcards have multiple benefits. And I'm sure you guys have done a lot of postcards, but let me just go through this why we really focused on that. Is because, number one, we design we create a glossy postcard that catches people's eye. It has a face of the person we're either supporting or attacking. It has a very succinct message, and it has a pre-written message on the back with a space for the writer to put in a very short phrase. We work with a lot of partners, and we work with them to help them determine what message they would like to present. We design it, and we offer the postcards for free, from 500 postcards to 10,000 or higher. We actually raise the money so that we can provide free postcards wherever we're working. And then we get them out to the local groups, and those groups then will take the responsibility of writing in that short phrase, slapping on a label or handwriting. In some cases, people like to do that, and putting a stamp on and then putting it in the mail. So it becomes not only a succinct message direct to people's houses, and because they catch your eye, then people will see that message. And the secondary advantage is that people get together to do it. It energizes a lot of people to do it, and they feel like there's something effective they can do. And that is a really important benefit. And I will say that when we started working, we began working with all kinds of county leaders, indivisible groups, county chairs, the Democratic committees. And we started first just in New York and up in New Hampshire. And then we expanded a lot in Pennsylvania. But we've done, in the last cycle, we did over 600,000 postcards, 600,000. And I know that we'll do that this cycle, or maybe more. We don't know yet. But we have working partners in all those states. And what we do is we work with them. And if they decide they really would like a billboard, we work with them to either just design it or we actually pay for it. And they help us figure out where to put them. So location is a big factor. We do billboards. We do streaming video for streaming on various, not the cable TV usually, but in social media and any kind of streaming platform that you might watch. We also do, in addition to postcards, billboards, streaming videos, we also do radio ads. We've done radio ads in English and Spanish, depending on the district. We've done full-page newspaper ads, depending upon where we're working. But the point is here that we do all this messaging to improve the impact. And we do it with targeted voters, usually targeted swing voters, and or solid Dems, depending upon where you are in the cycle and what the important issue is you're trying to raise. If it's get out the vote, well, then we tend to focus on the hard Dems. If it's register to vote, then we don't go to the hard Dems. We obviously go to people that we're seeking to register. Anyway, I just wanted to say that at the end of the day, we are willing to create and work with you guys for postcards, and they'll be free. At the same time, we do have a fundraising arm, obviously, because we do need to get financial support. And the way I suggest people look at it is this: you can donate to any number of candidates that you want, obviously. And I'm sure you're getting lots of emails in your inbox and lots of texts. And I'm not saying don't do that, but you can also donate to our organization, because we do a lot of the work that helps target where the money is spent. By the way, we're all volunteers, just to let you know. But we use the money exclusively to do our work, and we can target the voters in these specific areas, in essence, for you. And we find the areas that we will want to work in so that we can have the most effect. To that end, for example, we are working almost exclusively in congressional district races right now, and that's where we're going to continue. Congressional races where we can flip a seat or defend an important seat. Witness Josh Riley over in New York, CD 19. He's a vulnerable Democrat. He just won. He won when he went in the Trump landslide. Well, it wasn't a landslide, sorry. But in the rural areas, it was hard to beat those areas where he took a big percentage. But Josh Riley did. But he's got a strong Republican opponent this time. And so he's going to need work and support. I could go into several other areas where we're working, several other congressional districts, but we're not working in Senate districts by and large, by the way, because we don't think we can make a big enough impact when you've got the big dark money political action committees and all other kinds of groups providing funds. not to the Democrats, but to the other side. And the major national groups will jump in to support the Senate candidates. So for us, we focus on a number of congressional districts. I don't want to go on and on. I just want to say that we would love to work with you in whatever way you can. And to the extent you can help us out with funding. When I was on the call with your president, good leader, Andre, and others, I want you to know that they have the information for how you can get to us and how you can help us out. The easy thing I can tell you is go to ruralfreedomnetwork.org. That's ruralfreedomnetwork.org. And there'll be a donate button. There'll also be a members area. And I urge you to click on that. You'll register. And when you do, then what will happen is you'll be able to see all of our work. And you can look at all the messaging we've been doing. Recent messages. I don't think we have up there from 2017, 18, and 19, but in the last cycle and now. So I urge you to take a look, and we'd be happy to answer questions. And I'm sure Lee can add some other things. Lee does a lot of things for us. He does a lot of our writing. He handles a lot of the nitty gritty on postcards. And what he loves best is working with the Federal Election Commission when we have to do filings. Lee, do you have anything else to add?
Right.
Well,
That's my punishment, in this lifetime, right?
we're running a little short on time.
Okay.
So maybe we should see if people have any questions for
Sure.
you.
Sure.
Anybody? Any questions? Yeah.
Talks about succinct messages, and I agree, and I'd love to hear something.
Yeah. Okay. No, wait. Talk to the phone.
Oh, sorry. I'd love to hear an example or two of the succinct messages because I absolutely agree. We use way too many words and nobody pays attention.
Sure. I actually, if I have a card right on my desk, it's a postcard with, here it is. It's one of the, I don't know if you can see it. It's one of the Epstein cards that we did. And it is very simple. The message, we happen to focus on this because of the Christian right, which is out there and strong. And the message is there are sins and there are mortal sins. Representative Bresnahan is hiding the Epstein files. And then the picture is of a young girl with her eyes shaded. I don't have others right in front of me, sorry. So I don't have them at the top of my head. But all of them, by the way, have an image that is very expressive. You almost don't have to read whatever few words we have in order to get the message when we're reaching out. One of the more succinct ones that we have that we've used in billboards and postcards, by the way, is a picture of a Republican who has lied about Medicaid cuts. The image is of that congressional representative with a very long nose, representing Pinocchio. And so, for example, Representative Bresnahan promised he would protect Medicaid and health care. He lied. Pretty impactful. And we've gotten that all over the country, basically. And it's very effective. And as I say, Democrats throughout the country have loved that one. So that's another example I know off the top of my head.
Okay, we have another question. You could talk to the phone.
Good evening, Chairman. Lawrence Cabrera here from Long Meadow. Are these postcards union made or ACL sponsored anyway?
We have a union printer that we use.
Are they? Yeah, they said yes. Cards?
Is it written right on the card that they're union?
Let me just see. There's a union bug at the back. we have our logo, and there's always a QR code for more information, and there's a union bug.
Okay, thank you so much, Lee and Sherwood. And we do have, for some reason I'm echoing. We do have your website and QR code on handouts on the tables. So everybody should feel free to take them with you when you go. If I don't have enough, I can get some more for you. So feel free.
Well, listen, I just want to finish here myself by saying thank you for giving us this opportunity. We are right next door in the Berkshires, and we're homegrown, but we're working nationwide. And our designer, by the way, has a national reputation. So we're qualified. We'd love to have your support financially, and just love to have the ability to work with you on cards or other messaging. So thank you very much. We really appreciate your time. Lee, any comments?
I'm just saying,
Thank you.
yeah, just quickly, we'll be going full bore right early in the year because we don't wait. We go in early in these elections, even before we even have a Democratic candidate, so that any Republican incumbent doesn't have the floor to himself, so to speak. And so we'll be going right away, right early, and we can use all the help we can get to do that. So thank you very much. Thanks for inviting us, and hope to see you in person someday.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I'm
Thank
having
you.
trouble muting and unmuting here.
No
So
problem.
thank you very much, Lee and Sherwood. Really appreciate your joining our call tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
Our
for the
pleasure.
time. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving along. In case you didn't notice, we also have pages up here. If you feel free to get up, walk around if you want, take pictures. We also have them in the back of the room as well, all of the QR codes and all of the website addresses. So feel free to mill around or what have you to get any information that you think you want. The next thing is I'm going to talk about force multiplier. And Force Multiplier is a group that we've been championing for a while. They hold Zoom calls with candidates or organizations so that people can get to know them firsthand. They're mainly focused on the national level, on competitive Senate and House races, and on groups that are working to expand voting rights or get out the vote, or groups that are where they're countering far right propaganda. So they're working at a much larger level than Rural Freedom Network, who is a little bit more focused in the areas that they go into. But since Force Multiplier is run by volunteers, 100% of whatever you donate goes to either the group or the candidates that you're supporting. So when you go to their website, which I don't know if we can get to their website, Jacob. Force Multiplier, yep. When you go to their website, you can decide where you want to spend your money. They recently, one of the things they do is they hold Zoom calls. And that way you can get on the Zoom call and you can get to meet the candidates that they're supporting. Or they recently had one with the the state committee chair for North Carolina and Michigan. And so you can actually get on the phone call and hear what people have to say and get to know more about these people, ask questions. While they do ask for donations to join the call, you don't have to. It's truly up to you what you want to do. They have also recently set up 3 funds. One is called Defending Democracy, and that supports litigation groups that are challenging the current Trump administration. They also created one called Battleground States, which is to support the state Democratic parties in North Carolina and Michigan, which are 2 critical states for flipping the House in 2026. And they've also got another one called Blue Media Fund, which is they're also working on helping social media and messaging for candidates to, again, try to get things to be more succinct. I think one of the things Democrats don't know how to do is not use a lot of words. So their next Force Multipliers next Zoom meeting is actually on December 7th, and it's going to go from 7 to 8 o'clock. And that's an opportunity to meet with 3 representatives from Washington, Nevada, and Michigan. And they'll talk about their constituents and how they're reacting to Trump policies. And again, those are 3 districts that we need to win in 2026 in order to flip the House. Does anybody have any questions you might want to ask me about Force Multiplier? That was a usual group that we had in our newsletter. Yeah, Ken? Thank you, Ken. Okay, no other questions, then we're going to just keep pushing right along here. Andrea, excuse me, sorry. Andrea's going to talk about another new group that she found, which is Grassroots Connector.
I'm doing Grassroots Connector.
There we go. Yep.
Great. And by the way, for Force Multiplier, one of the things I love, because I do get on maybe every third Zoom call, they take questions, you put them in the chat, they take questions, you can see that they get the answers to and meet the candidates, and it's really very rewarding to hear directly from them. So all of these are very highly curated organizations that Barbara and I have been working on. And the other next one I want to bring your attention to is something called the Grassroots Connector. It is totally free. It's all information. The idea is to let you know about actions that are happening all over the country. And we've featured 4 of them here. There's stories, recent stories. You can go to the Grassroots Connector. I love it. It comes in maybe every other day to my my inbox, and it provides information that's inspirational. So, wrong. It provides information. Oh, I don't know what to do.
Just
It
hold it down.
provides. Is this too loud? I think it's too.
Okay, could everybody hear her? Okay, never mind.
All right, I'll stand up and see if this helps reach in the back of the room, because that clearly was not working. Anyway, the Grassroots Connector, the most recent stories that that they share with us, and people write in from their areas of where they're working. So there was one group that helped ground Avalo Airlines. You are familiar with that? They were contract with the government to take immigrants, just dump them anywhere. And this group in this area really worked to shine a light on it and got Bradley Airport to take away their landing rights and discontinue it. So it's really a powerful entity. Then there was one article, November 10th, called Flipping a Red District Blue in New Mexico. And this is really showing what's happening on the local level, where grassroots entities are literally organizing like this, unbelievably, to help create the environment to both educate voters and get the vote out. And I really encourage you to use either the website to sign up for the newsletter or the QR code, whatever you're comfortable with. Up to you.
Thank you. Okay. And now, back to me. Oh, I'm sorry, did anybody have any questions on Grassroots Connector for Andrea? Okay. Are you doing that with Susan?
Yeah, in terms of,
With Susan LeBant?
yes.
Was it?
Right, okay.
Does I take us over to it?
No, you don't have to. You can just answer the question. Are you doing
Oh,
it with Susan
okay.
Vanderbar?
Yes.
That's what something I write for got noticed by you all.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, the next group that we're going to highlight is, and actually it's not a group, it's a person. And his name is Len Lubinsky. And basically, this is just a great resource to get information. So he's not looking to collect any money from you. He's just doing this because he likes to do it. But he does for every candidate or group that he showcases, he does provide you with a link to their site if you want to choose to donate them to them. Basically, he just started writing in 2017. That seems to be the critical year for all of these organizations. I can't imagine why. But he started writing really for his friends and family to try to encourage them to vote Democratic and also donate to Democratic candidates. And basically, he just didn't know enough to stop. So he's been doing it now for the last 8 years and has obviously expanded his reach in terms of the candidates that he covers as well as the groups that he's working on. So his website has a host of information. And if you want to find somebody, let's say you get an email from someone and you want to find out about them, this is a great place to go and see if, in fact, he's done any research on them. You can search by year. You can search by the kind of race it is, whether it's a congressional. You can search by state because he even does some state and local things. So the one thing I will tell you is that whatever he writes, it's very long, it's very involved, but it's extremely informative that he really does his research. So in terms of if you're getting emails and you're not sure and you don't know about somebody, this is a great place to go and look and find out more information. Any questions about, and then basically he has these little Lens political notes. And if you just click into them, you'll see that there's all sorts of information about each one of the candidates. Yes.
These are all Democrat backed.
Yeah, I don't.
I was very upset one day. Democrat person turned out to be an independent person, and I myself voted for officer.
As far my understanding is that most of these organizations are supporting Democratic candidates. And again, they're supporting organizations that are trying to get out the vote and also trying to register people to vote. So those are basically all Democratic, ideals and movements. So our last one is
The segue into scams.
actually, first, we're going to see if Tammy wants to take a couple minutes to talk about Freedom Riders. Does she need to talk in? Nobody's on the Zoom, so it doesn't matter. You just talking to the group. Do you want?
No.
Nobody's on the Zoom. Nobody's on the Zoom anymore.
For 1 minute about Freedom Riders, because I don't run. Erin Freed is very ill today, so is Billy. So she asked if I could talk about that group for a moment. I'm looking around, I'm like, I can hardly imagine that any of you don't know about Freedom Riders already or aren't writing postcards for Freedom Riders. It's a very similar founding and activity to what Lynn and
Lee and Sherwood,
Rural
Freedom
are
Network.
doing.
Mhm.
We do pay for packets of postcards because they have stamps inside. first class postcard stamps are 61 cents. My hair was on fire the night. For instance, and they're not always doing postcards. Right now, a lot of us are pushing for candidate in Tennessee in District 7 named Acton Bain, who used to be an indivisible organizer and now is running for, we're trying to flip a congressional seat there. It's going to be tough, but we're going for it anyway. Tennessee's a very, it could flip. But Aaron also started another group with a bunch of very big indivisible coalition folks at the state level, which Andrea is in with those folks too, I know, last January. And this is all these things going on that you hear. It's like, it is like a big web of a lot of people are doing some of the same things, some of them a little bit different. Indivisible Mass Coalition, like Jackie said, we're one of the only states with a statewide indivisible group. It's huge. And there are so many people doing so much work and they're helping each other. They don't fight with each other. I love being a part of several different things going on. I don't know how it's happening, but I was on the bus with Aaron for the first big stand down. We had the big rally in April. We went to the bus together to Boston. We did the rally. We came home and she said, "Do you like to write?" I said, "About as much as I like to give birth." It's very hard for me to write. However, from April to the beginning of September, I became the editor of the, this is called Coordinated Action Dispatch. And this is all of the big grassroots coordinators in the state of Massachusetts get together on Sunday night and vote on the top 3 actions they want everybody to do. These are like quick things for the most part. Make a call, look this up, go to a standout, whatever they decide is going on. And I'm the editor of this thing now, and it's crazy. But Susan LeBandabar, who works with Andrea on Grassroots Connector, talk about a message. I've started to do, because I'm a big nerd, follow a lot of legislation in Massachusetts. It goes very slow here because things are pretty good here compared to some of the other states. However, we start to really light fires under the legislators' tushies and getting them to sign on to legislation. This particular action that we wrote in October was, there's a bill that they're asking for us to stop filming ICE when they pick up people. And that if they want you to stay 25 feet away from law enforcement instead of about 5 feet. And it's called the HALO Act, and it sounds really good when they talk about it. It's to protect first responders. Well, we all want to do that, right? But this is totally not what that is. In about a page and a half, they're basically trying to take away your civil rights. And we called that HALO is no angel. And that got the attention of these guys. And then they started writing about us. I see all of this together as one. Back to Freedom Riders. It takes time to get postcards printed and get the addresses from the groups that you get them from and get people together to pack these all up and all this. And in this case for Acton Bain in Tennessee, Aaron said, "We don't have time to do this," and told us another group that already had this going and get us addresses. And it took literally under 10 minutes for me to join that group, get 20 addresses, get my own postcards, get those out. So what I want to say is also I give money to a lot of these different places, Rise Up Western Mass. No one's making money in Rise Up Western Mass. They are buying speakers because Jackie can get 3,000 people in the street. She doesn't know how she does it. I don't know how she does it, but there we all are out in the streets rallying and listening to messages. So anyway, pretty
Great.
cool.
Great, thank you so much, Hannah. Appreciate it. Yep. And
This is
now-
really,
Yeah,
can
and-
you use a phone?
No, okay, nobody's. on
This
the
is
Zoom
really
anymore.
important because while we're talking about all these organizations that are there, whether you're going to be giving them money or your time, you need to know that even among Democrats, there are scams. And there's really, yes, it's shameful. It's unbelievable. And I was really taken by surprise because like everybody else, I get 1,000 texts. I'm dying here. I'm going to fall apart. You haven't given me anything. If you give me $10 now, there's a 400 times match. Those are scams. And there's been a lot of digging into this that has shown that people, there are young people here, so you probably won't count. But those of us who are 65 and older seem to get hit the hardest. And they take a lot of money because they play in our emotions. So Barb and I put together a whole list of organizations that are playing on your emotion. And so a couple of them are things like the Progressive Turnout Project, Stop Republicans Project, Democracy First. Do not give anything to these PACs because it turns out that they give about 1.6% of what they raise to the actual candidates. And they're raising like $700 million, keeping their consulting fees, where $11 million goes to a few candidates. So you really don't want to put money there. And interestingly enough, some of the biggest scammers out there, or some of the people who are modeling these tactics and taking money for things, happen to be some of our leaders, unfortunately. The DMC, the district, the Democratic Congressional Caucus, and the Democratic Senate Caucus are using the same modeling techniques, paying the same consultants. Better to give money directly to a candidate or a legitimate organization who really has curated this for you. Lynn's notes tells you specifically the candidate. ActBlue is made, if you're donating through ActBlue, you're going to just do it directly to that candidate. They're already telling you what they're holding, asking you to help support them in the administrative money. So be very cautious, and hopefully Barb is going to be able to attach somehow this 4-page document that we've put together that alerts you to these scams. And it's really pathetic. So. Anyway, time is up.
Okay. So oh.
Democratic governors, so too. I see the
So at this point, I'm not going to do the actual investigation. That's a different organization for asking some money. That's the one that's coming from, oh, it's only minutes to my next deadline. I know, going to spend my candidate comes to account. Everything. I just assume at this point that almost everything that I'm not giving directly to something like force multiplier.
Right. I'm actually, that's what I decide. So that
I'd be able to fit in a good organization.
and then getting a mail for the 6 months.
Yeah. So again, this is one of the reasons why we do this tonight. We really want you to know, based on our research, what is legitimate. If you're giving something to Freedom Writing, you know that's where the money is going to specifically. we're going to talk about setting up some sort of fundraising to support World Freedom Network because they do these incredible coordinated billboards, canvassing, postcarding in specific areas that we don't necessarily touch. And so, but they really want us to do something more significant. So, but certainly send the money in. By the way, with World Freedom Networks, let me just tell you, you go in, log on, register, become a member. You don't have to pay any money to become a member, but you can access all of the things that they're doing and see what they're actually doing. And say you're coming from the Long Meadow Democratic Town Committee, and you'll immediately get in.
And they've also done some memes and things that if you're more Facebook literate than me, you can actually take those memes and you can put them out on your Facebook account or what have you. So they've really got a lot of things they're doing. I just wanted to follow up with what Andrea is saying. I'm going to hopefully be able to get this document mailed out. But one of the things, you can't see the graph really well, but there were these graphs that Andrea found. And basically what it's showing is the age range. So it starts at the younger age, goes up to the older age. So obviously these graphs out here are targeting the older demographic. Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi, and Susan Delbenny, not sure. So that's why it is kind of important to check and look and maybe go to Force Multiplier or somebody else rather than donating to this. And it's not to say that what Nancy is collecting is not being used for her campaign, but it's just that they're adopting these same tactics of scaring us into donating right now, today, whatever. And that's more of what we're a little bit leery about. It's like, why are you doing those, using those same tactics to try to get our money? So anyway, I will try to send this out to everybody because it is really good information and very interesting. Also on your tables, and it didn't get up here, but there is a little card with a snippet from Rachel Maddow. She did a YouTube interview video, and extremely scary about spyware that the government, our government, is using against US citizens, tracking people who are at protests or who they deem to be threats. So this is the same, it's not exactly the same, but it's very similar to spyware that was used by Saudi Arabia to track Khashoggi and find out where he was and actually find him. So it's somewhat scary, but we do suggest that you go on, listen to it, and just be aware of everything that's going on out there. So I think I'm done unless somebody has some questions that they want to ask. And I just want to tell everybody that our next meeting is actually December 10th, which is the second Wednesday, but it's our very special holiday party. And it's going to be at Mario's in East Longmeadow. And we will be having our very exciting Yankee swap. So be sure to watch. Probably next week or so, I'll be getting out a message. We do ask that everybody please sign up because we have to get a count for Mario's, obviously. But it's really a really great time, and I encourage everybody to join us. And with that, can I have a motion to adjourn? Candy, can I have a second? Kathy, yep, go ahead, Candy. And don't forget to drive by, drop off on Saturday. So, and also we had our collection for our food bank, and we're going to be doing that at all of our meetings. So even at the holiday party, we'll also be collecting for the food bank then. So please bring whatever you can spare, and let us share it with our neighbors. Anything else? Done. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming, everybody.